let's go find us a loaded trailer. Been hanging out here all morning. I'm at the distribution center. So basically, the way this dedicated account works, you know, I have 2 days off during the week, and then I work 5 days. And essentially what it is I park the truck on my days off fairly close to my home. Schneider has a drop yard that's not too far away from where I live. So I finish whatever load I have on Friday, and Friday evening I park in that drop yard, and my car's there, and then I just take my car home and leave the truck at the drop yard with the trailer, the empty trailer from that day, still attached. And then Monday morning early, I drive back up there and park my car again, get in the truck, and head back out to the distribution center, which is out in Sterling, Illinois. And from that drop lot, it's about a 3-hour drive to get out here to the distribution center. And so I get out here late morning on Monday, and of course go drop the empty trailer from Friday. And then, you know, dispatch gives me my first load for the day, and I'm off and running. And every now and then, you know, as is the case in any warehouse type situation, you get, you know, people in the warehouse calling sick or whatever. And that of course happened today, because it's one of the very first days around here in Chicagoland that it's absolutely gorgeous outside. It's 80-something degrees, bright sunshine, it's beautiful. So of course, you know, half the warehouse calls off sick. So all of us drivers have been sitting here in the bobtail area. Schneider has a terminal within Walmart here, because we do so much pulling for them. And you know, all of us have been sitting here since, you know, 6, 7, 8 o'clock this morning, ready to go, and no loads are ready. So that does happen. You know, again, that's part of trucking. Got to know that going into it. It's nothing, no company is immune from it. You know, stuff like that happens. So anyway, I was ready at 8 this morning, and now it is 10 to 1. I'm just now taken off to grab my first and probably my only trailer for today, because yeah, I don't see there being much time after this. So anyway, everything's pre-tripped. I just got to turn my hazard lights on, so you'll hear the clicking of what sounds like an old car blinker, and those are the hazard lights of the truck, and that's a Walmart safety policy. Anytime you're operating on their facility in here in their distribution center, if the truck is moving, the hazard lights have to be on. So I get it, it's all safety. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. Squeezing your way out of here in a gigantic semi-truck. It's always a fun time. So just got to make sure you don't take anybody's front end off. Let's not do that. Weasel our way out of here and head over to where they park all of the refrigerated trailers. We are hauling refrigerated load of groceries. It is partially frozen foods and partially dairy. And the trailers that Walmart uses are pretty cool, actually. They have internal partition walls, so they can set the whole 53-foot trailer into 3 separate compartments, and you can adjust the size with those sliding barrier walls. You know, you can either have all those barrier walls open, which they fold up flush to the ceiling, and you can run the trailer, you know, the whole trailer as one temperature, frozen or refrigerated or what have you. Or you can, you know, bring down one of the walls and run it as a 2-part. But most of the time they have a 3-partition, a 3-section, 2 partition walls going. And what that enables them to do is they can take 2 store locations and load them into 1 trailer. Essentially, they make the middle section a frozen section, and the head of the trailer and the tail of the trailer become the refrigerated dairy section of the trailer. So that way, when you get to your first store, their dairy stuff is on the tail. and you know, you take, or they take that off, and then we open up the freezer section, and their stuff is first. So they take, you know, let's say half of the frozen stuff out of there, and that constitutes their whole load, and then, you know, close up the doors and hit the second store, and they just basically take their freezer stuff out first, and then behind it, in the head of the trailer, is all their dairy stuff. So works out pretty well. Actually works out very well. They've got it down to a science, which, you know, go figure, Walmart. Of course they do. They're the retail giant. Anyway, I am backing up onto a trailer now. I got to concentrate on what I'm doing. More later. All right, well, we just arrived at our first stop for the day, and we are in the lovely little town, little suburb called Washington, Illinois. And Washington, Illinois is a little suburb of Peoria, Illinois. Actually quite a beautiful area. You know, you hear, at least I've always thought, you know, when I hear Peoria, Illinois, I think, well, you know, middle of the state. It's probably kind of boring, you know, cornfields, blah, 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 but there's a lot of water, a big river, and rolling hills, and it's actually quite beautiful, the area here. So anyway, enough of my babbling. Let me release the old spring brakes here, and had to get the cameras going, so I pulled off a little bit to the side here. I'm just entering into this Walmart, and let's let these cars get out of the way, and we will make our approach onto the Walmart grocery dock, because again, we are carrying frozen and dairy stuff. Oh, there it is, right in front of us. Okay, simple enough. I guess I'll take the middle door. So let me see. Let's see if I can completely screw this up. And if I do, I'm keeping it. I'm not going to get rid of the footage just because I screw something up. So screw that. I want this to be real. So I'm just going to make my way around here. That middle space is the only space available, so that's the one we're going to go for. And hopefully you're seeing what the trailer's doing with these rear view mirror cams that I kind of got going. So you can see what it is that I see. And this is kind of tricky at first, because it takes quite a while until you start kind of getting a feel for where the hell your trailer is going while you're turning. That's one of the more difficult things, to get a feel for that, and I'm still getting a feel for it. I still don't have it mastered by any means, but I think I got to be somewhere close. Yeah, there we go. Door is coming into view. Not too far off. I'll take it. Not too bad. So what I'm trying to do, I'm inching up forward, and I'm trying to get my tractor straight. I want to get the tractor straight, as straight as I can, with the trailer. And you'll hear a lot of times, you'll hear people, they'll say, you know, you need to get under the trailer. Well, that's what they mean when they say getting under it. Getting under it means that you need to be straight. And why that's important is that, you know, when your tractor is offset in any sort of an angle from your trailer, and in forward or reverse, whatever, it is translating, I guess, I'm trying to find the right word. It's pushing the trailer to turn one way or the other. And once that trailer starts turning in a certain way, it has a tendency to keep turning that way until you break that turn. And the only way you can break that turn is to get yourself straight again. So I am now straight. I'm going to start slowly backing up here. First, what you can't see off the camera is that I rubbernecked all around trying to make sure there's no cars anywhere. And I take things really slow. So I don't know if you can see on the driver's side mirror, that little red marker light. Actually, you can see the red marker lights on both sides, hopefully. I watch those little marker lights because I can see where the very tail end of that trailer is wandering off to. and that's how you can start making corrections. And the corrections take a while to get a feel for, because once that trailer is moving in a direction, there's kind of a delay between your reactions. Like right now I'm going too far to the passenger side, I just noticed, so I'm going to swing it back around to stop it and redirect it. And it takes a little bit of doing to get it to change directions and head in the direction that you want it to. One of the other things that I kind of discovered is that when you're new at this, like I am, you have a tendency of overdoing it with the steering wheel. It's like, oh my God, you see it going in the direction you don't want, and you vigorously turn the wheel, and you generally, I'm finding out, end up, that's why I'm doing this back and forth slalom right now, because you go too far. And I suppose that's kind of just natural until you get a better feel for doing this. But another thing that I have found that's helpful to me is that, you know, you do so much watching in the mirrors because that's all you can use to see, and you get so fixated on the back end of the trailer, where I've started figuring out that giving a glance at the head, at the front of the trailer, specifically on the driver's side, can be very, very helpful. Because you know, like when you're pushing the back end, like I'm doing now, I'm pushing it over a little bit to the passenger side. But by watching the head of the trailer, you know when you're straight again, while you're backing up onto a dock. And that's proven really helpful for me. You know, again, everybody's brain and concept of spatial geometry is different. You know, people perceive things in the way they perceive them and understand them in the way they understand them, and no two people are alike that way. But this is what works for me. As you can see, I'm getting pretty well centered. Now when I center on a door, I don't center on that yellow line that you can see back there, that surround, that insulation surround around the door. They always have that yellow line. I do not look at that. Because I found a lot of times those things were installed wrong. They were installed offset to one side or the other. What I look at is beneath it. As you can see into that concrete, you see the darkened areas. That's the actual dock plate, the frame of the dock plate. Now I'm too far over to the driver's side. It would work. The dock plate will go into the truck. I know it's fine, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And it just makes me feel better to correct it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to push it a little bit over to the passenger side, and that will make me happy. Again, it's not necessary. I know that the dock plate will fit, it'll open, it'll go into the trailer, but I want to have it the way I want to have it. So there you go. That's just me. I'm strange that way. But now you can see in the mirrors, I am dead center on that sucker. Again, don't look at the yellow lines, which are not too bad on this dock. They're pretty spot on. Well, I shouldn't say spot on. They're a little off. But again, if you look on the concrete underneath, you can see I am pretty much dead center, almost touching it, just inching it back, and there I go. I'm on it. I didn't even feel a bump. So now the other thing I like to do is once I'm on it, I'm literally in gear with my foot off the pedals, so the torque of the engine is just kind of pushing against the dock. I'm going to give it just a teeny little bit of throttle and pull the brakes. So a little throttle, you see the front end twist. That's just pushing that trailer nice and solid against that dock. There's rubber bumpers back there that compress nicely and really make sure that you're solid on the dock. So cool, that's it. I hope it turned out. I'll find out later when I review the footage, but now I need to get to work and get in there and get this stuff off the trailer. So more later.